might never sleep again.
So what are we talking about here?
I think legit what we're doing is just saying, hey,
Legit.
we haven't done one in a while. We're just going to have a free-flowing chat, get back into this, get ourselves hyped up for the year of sport again.
And then what? Not do an episode for another 3 weeks?
No, and then we'll just start doing it again each week. But what you said, we're going to just do the episode where we don't look shit up. We're just talking.
Are we going to do more of just in the car? Because that's frightfully arrogant, I feel.
How many listeners do we have?
How many listeners?
Yeah. 30?
Half dozen, probably.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care about the arrogance, Stu.
Oh, did you hear that, everybody? He doesn't care if we make shit that you have to listen to. Well, you don't have to listen to. Choose to listen to. He doesn't give a fuck.
No, I think we just start doing this. I like doing it. I find it cathartic and just good at reminding me that I like talking about sports.
You need reminding that you like talking about sport.
I think this is better, hey? Hey, why didn't we use this? It feels like I'm like Stan Zemanek or something here.
What an interesting pull. Is Stan Zemanek at the front of your mind very often?
No. Do you remember what Stan Zemanek looks like? I've never seen Stan Zemanek.
Yeah, he looks like probably a cross between Ray Hadley and Billy J. Smith.
Who's Billy J. Smith?
Is the he was admittedly a kind of personality in the 80s. I think he was a radio guy. Hosted It's a Knockout with Fiona McDonald.
Oh, I know that guy. Yeah,
He's fallen over.
Yeah, I love that guy. Yeah. Do you remember the early It's a Knockouts where it was just like in a pool? Literally like a public pool?
A public pool?
Yeah, lots of sounds.
Yeah, I guess.
Have you seen the kind of the It's a Knockout concept is back in lots of ways now? Have you seen this dodgeball show?
Dodgeball show. So, well, give me more context. I mean, we've got Holy Moly going on currently at the moment.
What I was talking about, yeah.
Is that what...
No, that's not the dodgeball show I was talking about, but I'm talking about it coming back, the concept of kind of it's a knockout vibe show.
It's essentially It's a Knockout with some Ninja Warrior added to it. You've got to go through obstacles.
It's a knockout with a little bit of golf added to it.
Golf added, yeah. Yeah. So, and then there's Ultimate Tag coming up soon on 7, I've noticed.
I found last night a promotion on one of my National Geographic channels for I think it's like Ultimate or Hardcore Dodgeball, but it's just one of those kind of It's a Knockout courses, but you also got people throwing balls at you.
The Cube coming up on Channel 10, which is a whole bunch of challenges.
Yeah. So. I don't know how I feel about that. Have you ever seen the movie The Cube?
Is that the one with J-Lo?
No, that's the Square. I'm talking about a low-budget French-Canadian horror film. It's great. And then there was Cube 2 Hypercube, which not very good. But the first one, great. So the first one, the premise is, right, just these random people wake up in a room that's a cube and there are doors on each wall, right? One door on each wall, one on the roof, one on the floor.
Yeah.
And they go through these different rooms and every maybe 4 or 5 rooms, one of the rooms is booby-trapped with like a horrible kill. Yeah.
Didn't that have J-Lo?
No. Okay. No, you're thinking of the... Well, no, don't look it up. We decided we're not allowed to look anything up on this podcast.
Okay.
We don't fact check.
Can you explain to me what a hypercube is then?
Well, it seemed like the same thing but with more budget because they made this real low budget film by just having the one room made. Right. You only needed one cube room.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Cell.
The Cell.
Was
yeah.
So apologies there. Was the Cell cube shaped?
Oblong. Stu, we are supposed to ostensibly talk about sport. Now, I wanted to bring up something you told me about in sport the other day.
Can I just do something before you start?
Why not? Hey, who cares?
Well, let's just say sorry to people for
years of oppression.
Well, more so just the fact that we were doing podcasts weekly and then we just stopped without and didn't bother kind of coming back for ages. We love you and we respect you and we're sorry we did that. And if you take the time to listen to this utter shit, then
he really was. Yeah,
I had my eyes shut and everything.
I know he was very, very pronounced with the utter.
Then really, thank you, and I hope you understand that we just got to do this when we can, amongst other things.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll do it regularly enough, but just keep your eye out. It'll pop up.
I've been studying for the bar. I got to do my bar exam soon. It's been a hard time. You was reading your phone. You didn't even care about my lawyer joke. Either way, I agree with Stu. I'm sorry, guys, and I want you to listen. Listen and tell your friends. Not friends you like, but just tell people that you meet.
Can I do a bit more further admin before you start talking fucking shit?
Yep.
Thank you. Part of the reason why we've been off for a little while also is that I've been recording another podcast.
This is an admin. This is promotion for your other podcast.
It's an ad. Min.
Yeah, okay.
So it's called Bit Weird But Fair Enough. It's starting very soon. Actually, it's called Bit Weird But Fair Enough, I guess. So I'd encourage you to subscribe to that. My friend Monty here is on some episodes.
That's me.
So, yeah, please do. Coming soon. Weird stuff. If you like weird stuff, that's what it is for.
You know, you told me I couldn't look stuff up. I looked some stuff up anyway, but it brought up a different point, right? So that movie Cube that I was telling you about, it's a great movie, worth seeing. I highly recommend it. But it came out in 1997, right? 97.
Yeah.
You know when the Australian release date was? March 1999. Do you remember when that used to happen? That we would have to wait years for movies to come out in Australia?
2 years seems excessive, though.
It does.
Did they send the reels over by, wooden cargo shit?
Or 10 minutes at a time.
It's just on a junk.
Yeah, on a junk. Nice use junk. Anyway, back to the thing. We are... oh, no.
Don't do things I'm going to have to cut out.
You won't have to cut this out. It relates to two things we've already speak about. I saw a headline that said 10 to premiere The Cube hosted by Andy Lee on the 24th of February. Yeah. And I thought that we were playing an old kind of cult horror movie with Andy Lee doing a commentary at the beginning about
in a big chair and a smoking jacket introducing it.
Exactly. It's not that. Nice. Okay, so sport. You told me about an interesting sport-related thing, and this is a sport podcast, so we should talk about sport stuff. We were talking about the on-field eating of toasted sandwiches.
Yeah. So a whole test series has come and gone between us doing podcast episodes. So we haven't talked about
very good test series too.
Big Bash as well. That's okay.
Don't care about that very much.
Doesn't matter too much these days.
Don't care about that very much.
But yeah, I care about the tests very passionately. What a series.
The last session on the last test.
The last game.
On the last game.
But the whole thing was seesawing. And that's not an exaggeration.
I remember watching the first India innings and out for 34 and going, 36, and going, this is going to be a terrible summer of cricket. Yeah. Why they even bother coming?
Yep.
And then I'm sitting there watching, Langer about to cry at, after going down to, who was it, the Pant Man? Pant Man waving his thing around?
Rispa Pant, yeah. Oh, what do you mean waving his thing around?
The nice... was it the Pant Man going off at the end, or was it someone else?
Yeah, Rispa went off. Yeah.
That's waving his thing around, waving his bat.
I thought you were talking about Jadeja. Jadeja does a very elaborate kind of swords thing when he gets his 50. He does a swashbuckling motion. Look, great series, fantastic series. And we've actually found out today that the Australian test tour of South Africa... I was
going to bring that up for you.
Cancelled.
Yeah. It's cancelled, not pushed back. It's completely cancelled.
Well, it says postponed, but where can they move it to? Because it was meant to be part of the
International Test World Cup or whatever it is. Yeah. I suppose currently in the world you don't want to go to a place that has a strain of COVID named after it.
True. But, the South Africans are cutting up rough, calling us dogs for not coming.
They're a rough bunch, Saffers.
They are, but can they not be reasoned with? Should you say, if they're having some strong COVID-y times over there, do you really need to call us dogs for not wanting to be there?
No, that is pretty harsh, isn't it? Who called us a dog?
South Africans generally. I don't know. I didn't.
Hansi Cronje?
From beyond the grave?
Yeah,
from the wreckage of his plane. No, I didn't actually push on with reading the story. I just saw the headline,
That's how we do.
Basically saying Saffers
call us dogs.
think we're mutts.
Yeah. Sandwiches.
Yeah, your toasted sandwiches. So it was a thing that Langer was... Langer's under a bit of pressure, right? Because we were in 2 match-winning situations and couldn't actually do it. India came back both times. So that's captaincy. So Tim Payne has a question or two over him. But there's also a question or two about Langer and his coaching style. Is there a kid yelling somewhere here? What was that? That sounded like...
It was a child yelling.
Yeah, it sounded like some C-bombs in there.
Really? I couldn't hear that well. Hopefully we'll be able to pick it up later on the back play.
That's
anyway,
right.
The kid's gone now. Keep going.
Is it the kid that owns Frankston from Brown Cardigan, do you reckon?
That kid's hectic, eh?
If you follow Brown Cardigan on Instagram, there's a kid who owns Frankston.
Instant
apparently.
classic. Yeah, that kid.
It's mystifying to people, but I encourage you to look it up. Toasted sandwiches. I was getting there.
No, but so was I. I wanted to reply to your Langer stuff. What are your thoughts on how integral and important a coach is in international Test cricket? I don't think they are. I think it's one of those sports where the coach probably has a lot of ideas going in, but not as much influence on the game as it's going on.
Yeah, obviously ideas and build up. But I think with cricket, equally important is culture building rather than do this at this time kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
So
what, Freddie? Get Freddie Fittler in there. Get him to, shoes off.
Shoes off and feel it. It probably makes more sense in cricket than league, right?
Much more. You might actually gain a little bit of info from walking around with your shoes off.
Ground conditions.
Yeah, exactly.
You can then tell a Indian bookie.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Wow. Long, big callback.
Yeah, look, it's all culture building. Consider the different types of personalities between Lehman and Langer.
Yeah.
Lehman is Boof.
Yep.
That's his nickname, i.e. a buffhead.
Yeah.
One of the blokes, bit bogany, bit casual.
Yeah, Lehman.
He'll have a bloody laugh. He'll have a bloody laugh with you, mate.
Langer, nickname, Brains, Nerdy Langer.
I don't know.
No one says that.
The only thing closely resembling a laugh I've ever seen is a sinister smile from him.
Yeah,
when
that's
he's,
a good... Yeah.
When he's thinking of a punishment he might kind of dish out to a player. That's pretty much... Yeah, people can't see what you're doing there. But, yeah, look, let's get to the sandwiches. So the questions are, is Langer...
Wasn't it a question? Wait, what question? Aren't we telling them about the sandwiches? Then we'll ask questions.
Well, I was trying to answer it for you, and you interrupted with the same question.
Yeah. Oh, okay, right.
There's questions of Langer about whether his style is appropriate.
Sure.
And somehow wrapped up in that conversation came the revelation that he stopped a player going out on the field with a toasted sandwich in his pocket.
Yeah.
Right?
Boof wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Boof would be handing out the sandwich.
Bloody people, they'd be going out with baked beans in their pockets, probably.
Baked bean toasty, maybe.
No bread.
Just a pocket full
of baked beans.
Yeah.
So it was, for about a day or two, the question, who was the player that he banned?
Yeah.
It turned out to be Marnus, right? Marnus wanted to take a toasted sandwich out onto the field and eat it while the game was going on.
Was he batting or was he bowling?
Fielding. So, but
I suppose it would be easy to get away with eating a sandwich on the field if you were in the field, not batting.
Correct. You'd have to take your gloves off probably to reach into the pocket to eat your sanger.
It's the second, guys.
But here's a wrinkle, right? Which I haven't seen anywhere, but I'm sure I remember. I've seen Steve Smith pull a sandwich out of his pocket while in the field and eat it.
You said this to me. I don't remember this. When
I'm
did
sure
this
I've seen
happen?
it.
Are you thinking of sandpaper?
Sandwich,
Sandpaper,
sandpaper,
exactly,
could be a mix-up. Yeah, no, I'm sure I've seen it. And here's the funny thing. Marnus and Smudge are so tight that...
You reckon Marnus was taking the sanger out for Smith?
No.
Because Smith isn't allowed to have pockets on his pants anymore.
Oh. Do they stitch his pockets up?
I hope they did. Yeah, I assume him and Brains Warner, they got no pockets left on their pants.
Yeah, right.
Wouldn't you just take, after that whole South Africa debacle, wouldn't you take the pockets away from everyone? What do you need pockets for on a cricket pitch?
I don't know, but I tell you what.
The referee will hold anything you want. Umpire will hold anything you want.
I tell you what, though, if any tour is going to be postponed, you can think of Smith and Warner thanking Lord Christ.
We're not going back there.
We don't have to go back to South Africa.
Yeah.
Anyways, what I'm suggesting is that Marnus was emulating Steve Smith, as he does with the erratic batting, elaborate follow-throughs.
Yeah, the great scores.
Loud calls.
Yeah.
Run accumulating abilities.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, well, what's your thoughts? Would you be opposed if you were Langer? I suppose now that we've just discussed it, if someone's taken out anything that has the prefix sand in their pocket, you say, no, don't do that. Take yourself a burger, but not a sandwich.
I don't have much sympathy. If you can't find some time to eat in the 40-minute break they have for lunch, then what? You're a fucking dickhead.
Let's talk about that for a second, because I have always...
Was he taking a 40-minute dump? And if so... couldn't he have taken the sandwich in there? At least people can't see him eating it in there.
I don't want him eating a sandwich while he's taking a dump.
Why?
That's...
You can't have hands on both at the same time. The hands will be up top holding the sandwich.
You'd hope. So, I'm interested by how much do people eat at lunch or tea in cricket? Like, are you eating... Because I've heard stories of back in the day... when you would go to India, and back in the day, before we realised we could take our own food over there, Warnie and his baked beans seemed to be the first thing. Yeah, but they used to have a a full-on, 3-course curry meal at lunch.
Just curries as far as the eye can see.
How can you go back out and play cricket?
Hey, look up after this podcast. Look up some cricket menus from Lords. They are full kitted out, like multi-course choice meals. I think that's done purposely. Try and get the players just to go, holy shit,
I'm a little tired.
I've never eaten like this in my life. We're going to have a bit of everything.
I can't stop myself.
Yeah.
Lampshade likes it so much, he makes a sandwich with it to take back out on the field.
Yeah, so I guess that's our assessment of the summer of cricket.
Sandwiches and great games.
Yeah. We should touch on NRL, I guess, before anything else.
Sure.
Obviously, it's the off season. Obviously, where are we? About a month away?
Not long. Thursday the 14th, I think, of March. So we got about another month. Yeah, another month.
When's the All Stars game? The end of this month, right?
No, that happens ridiculously soon. It's one of those ones where you play it before they've even started training. Yeah. The only thing that matters to me is Benji's gone to South. So I think it's fucking shit. And can't you just see him beating us out like with Benji playing the last integral 20 minutes?
Yeah, some moves in the off-season. Benji gone to South, as you say. I mean, and did you see the dig that Benji had? He said, I'm glad someone's picked me up for my final season and I might get a chance to go out with a premiership now. Fuck you, Tigers, is what that translates to.
Yeah, but it's one of those ones where, look, what can I say? Yeah, we don't have a chance to win the premiership this year. We don't.
Pundits have got you...
second last.
Well, I've seen Wooden Spoon.
Really? Oh, I saw second last. I saw someone quite bad at the bottom. I want to say Dragons?
Dragons are fucked.
Yeah, Dragons are terrible.
In terms of playing potential for next year and kind of morally as well.
Yeah, and it looks.
So firstly, they let McInnes go. Their best player goes over to Sharks for a 4-year deal because they dicked around.
The All-Stars game's next Saturday.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know, there you go. I thought we weren't going to look stuff up while we were talking.
Well, I wanted to see if the Tigers were the last ranked. This will help. Don't worry, we're doing it as we go.
But, also they're trying to get Israel Folau registered. Israel Folau. Well, what do you got to do to be banned from the fucking NRL?
Yeah, right. Is he banned still?
Deregistered, which means you're not allowed to play for any clubs.
Until you register again?
Until you're re-registered, which is what the Dragons are trying to do. Yeah. I don't know what kind of argument they're putting forward for him being re-registered. Oh, he won't say anything about homosexuals now.
Not in this sport. Or are they saying people in this sport care less than that other sport?
No.
Because that's bad for NRL too.
But NRL made sure he was deregistered at the time.
Okay.
So by what that means is, like, doesn't have the potential to...
How many other sports did that? Water polo? You'll never play here.
Kabaddi?
Yeah, kabaddi. You ain't playing here. Deregistered.
Yeah.
Just for your update too, at $41 to 1, the two second last places, Saints and Tigers. But the two last place on $51, can you guess the two teams that are bottom?
So sorry, apart from Tigers and Dragons.
So worse than Tigers and Dragons.
Oh.
Yeah, tied for the wooden spoon, according to the TAB.
Not Broncos.
Yeah, Broncos.
Really?
Yeah, they'll come back. They'll make the 8.
Broncos will be higher than Tigers.
Exactly,
and Dragons,
right?
for
No
sure.
question. And the other one I do agree with.
Bulldogs?
Yeah, Bulldogs.
Yeah, I don't think that... There's a lot of talk about Bulldogs. I don't think they've recruited that well that they're going to suddenly be a force. Like,
I think there's problems. I think there's problems with that club. I think, like Tigers, I think there's problems at the Bulldogs.
I'm glad they got Flanagan. I'm glad they got Corey Allen, but it's not going to win them a premiership for a while.
Yeah.
All right. Well, league coming back soon, eh? Got a couple of players with DUI. I notice.
Yeah, not many though. It's been a pretty quiet off season.
Yeah, but this is the thing. One of those players that got DUI is one of the ones that was in the high school, Port Macquarie high school things a year ago.
Yep.
So a year has been. Yep. That was all that it took for another thing to happen. Like, fuck, be dead. All right. We've got to go. This has got to be reasonably shortish, but you wanted to talk about something that hurt you today?
Yeah, I got up to watch my beloved Southampton Saints take on Manchester United. Last year we played Leicester City Foxes, and we had a record margin loss to Leicester, 9-0. And you'd think that could never happen again, but it happened again this morning. 9-0 to Manchester United. This is, I want to say, 5 weeks after being top of the English Premier League table to now 9-0. I will say there was a lot of problems with the officials. There were some bad VAR calls, and if to be fair, if all things went our way, it would have been at least 8-1. So like, still bad, but it really put a downer on my day. That's about it. I could go on for hours, but fuck it. Fuck Mike Dean. That's all I got.
Go on for hours.
Fuck Mike Dean. The VAR shit. We've been fucked by VAR 4 times in the last 5 days. A handball that wasn't given, an offside, 2 offsides that weren't offside, another offside that should have been offside. VAR is fucked. Take it out of football. It's fucked. It's stupid. And fuck the Premier League at the moment. It's fucked.
Hello, my name is Piers Grove, and I'm a founder, publisher and managing director. In March 2022, I'd just been named Managing Director of Australian Geographic and set up Scout Publishing. Then everything changed. 404 Brain Not Found, the podcast for stroke survivors and their friends and colleagues. We explore the absurd experience and frustrating journey of stroke recovery. 404 Brain Not Found, a general experiments podcast on all podcast streamers.
My name's Stu.
I'm Rachel.
And we are fans.
Obsessives might be the word.
Of the 90s. The 90s. The 90s. The 90s. You can follow the podcast on your favourite podcast app. Rachel, what's the name of the show?
Swinging on the flippity flop.
Why the 90s?
We lived it.
We lived it. We were it.
Was it the best decade ever or the lamest? Let's find out.
Flippity flop.